In this video, I'm going to show you how to remove the spring pin from the shift rod of a Honda transmission. Most people try to hammer these out with a roll pin, or if they're unsuccessful with that, they try to drill them out. But that usually just causes damage to either the shift rod or this oil seal that's down here. So I'm going to show you a different way you can do it without having to beat on this, using a pitman arm remover, a nut that's about 24 millimeters in diameter or 1 inch, and a bracket that has a hole through it. So to get this to work, you're going to need some 1/4 inch drive Allen bits, and you're going to have to grind them with a Dremel. This is an original one. You can see that the tip of this fits into our spring pin, and that helps to hold this Allen bit on the spring pin. So we're going to take this Allen bit, we're going to cut a little bit off the bottom for clearance issues, and we're going to cut away at this rounded edge here and make it flat, and you'll end up with something like this. The reason you want this edge flat here is so that it doesn't try to spread open your spring pin when you're pressing this into the spring pin. And then at the bottom, you're going to want to put a little divot in there to help prevent this bit from walking out of your puller. If it's flat like this surface there, it's easy for this to walk off the end of the screw. In addition to the modified Allen bit here, you're also going to need an unmodified one. It's a 1/4 inch, because this bit, when you're pressing the spring pin out, will eventually bottom out, and you'll still have the spring pin stuck in the shift rod. So you'll need the unmodified one to continue pressing the spring pin the rest of the way out. And it helps if the bit you use has a divot at the bottom, or that would actually be the top of this one. So it helps to prevent the bit from walking on the screw. When you've got that done, you're going to take your 1 inch nut or 24 millimeter nut, and you're going to grind this profile into it, a round profile that fits the collar of the shift rod. The collar of the shift rod has about a 24 millimeter diameter, so that's about the size of this cutout that you want to make. So this is basically what you end up with. This is outside the car, of course, and we're missing the shift rod, and the spring pin is not installed either, but this gives you an idea of how these pieces go together. At the top we have our bracket. The bracket is there because the nut is too small of a size to fit this puller. If we didn't have the bracket, the nut would just fall right out. It would slip through the jaws of our puller. You can see how that radius that we cut into our nut fits over a rounded surface. It would actually fit over the shift rod collar, and you can see where our Allen bit goes. This is the unmodified one, but you would start with the modified one first. And you can see that if we turn this screw in, it would force the Allen bit up into the spring pin and press it out. So hopefully that's enough of an explanation of the process. Now I'm going to show you how it's actually done on the car. We're going to pull back this rubber boot to expose a clip that's here that we have to remove and a spring pin that we need to get out. After pulling back the rubber boot, the clip is exposed and we should be able to get this out just by pulling. Now I'm going to remove this shift rod. It's a 12mm bolt. That'll give us a little more room to work with. So here's my setup. You can see I have my hinge here, my nut on top, and my modified bit right here, and my puller surrounding it all. And that's what I'm going to use to push that pin up and into the nut and eventually out of the shift rod. So you can see that I've pressed the spring pin partially out using my modified bit. I'm going to switch over to an unmodified bit and continue pressing the spring pin out.